By now you all know I'm Leslie Gray. I'm a little self-conscious about it, but it's great to be here. And it's even more important and more touching for me to be the recipient of a Gray Frederickson Award, because Gray is and was and will always be a great mentor and friend to me. I have known Gray my entire life, and he was the inspiration, and he was the backbone, and he was a rock for me in my career. I knew him when I was very thin, and I would hitchhike down Coldwater Canyon. His friend and producing partner, Al Ruddy, who's my life mentor, had a home in Coldwater Canyon. And I remember back in the early 70s, before I get a car, I'd hitchhike down Coldwater, and I would show up at Al Ruddy's house, and it was at the height of, like, oh my God, you gotta be in the movie business. They had all the fancy cars, they had the poker games, they had the girls in bikinis at the pool, they had the deli spreads, and they had the Chinese food, and it was just fun and laughs. And Al was a friend of my father, who was in the music business. My dad was a manager, and he was honored by being put in the Personal Manager Hall of Fame. He brought the Beatles over, was partners with the Rolling Stones producer Jimmy Miller, and discovered Barry White and Jose Feliciano. But at the time, Al was just finishing The Godfather, and he was doing Longest Yard. He wanted Barry White to be in the movie. And I was like, oh my God, it's Al Ruddy, The Godfather. Dad, I gotta hang out. So from that introduction, I went on a lifelong journey with Al, who then introduced me to Gray. And starting out as a young teenager hitchhiking, said, I want to be in a movie business. I want to be in a TV business. And these two guys have brought so much joy, so much fun, so much insight. And in a world that we've kind of lost the respect and the tradition, I think, unfortunately, to honoring what was before us, to today, where it's just about now, I spend a great deal of time in reverence to our past and our history and our business and in our friendships and relationships. And to that end, it's why I'm happy to be here today to speak of Gray. Gray was a wonderful filmmaker, but he was a wonderful human being. And he had a kindness of heart that no matter what adversarial, difficult situation you found yourself in, Gray had the cool, level head to be able to make everyone feel good, feel heard, but also knew how to be the stern taskmaster to get us through whatever predicament we had to find ourselves in. Making movies and television, it's fun, but it's a challenge. I've been lucky enough to have made all different kinds of shows. Most notably, I created a show called Walker, Texas Ranger with Chuck Norris back in the day. And for those younger, you might remember Gene Simmons from Kiss. There was a show called Gene Simmons' Family Jewels. And then always wanting to make a Western. I remember I was a page at NBC working for Bob Hope and Dean Martin. And then John Wayne shows up. And I was like, oh my God, I was so nervous to meet John Wayne. And Mr. Wayne, I can't wait. My dream one day is to make a Western. He said to me, I can't do the Duke, right? He said, young fella, he said, don't dream about it, just go and do it. And there I was 30 years later, making the Hatfields and McCoys with Kevin Costner, and I'm in the woods with the horses running and the cacophony of the hooves beating off the ground, and there's this tumultuous sound, and guns are shooting, and people are flying, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm making the Western. And Costner comes riding up to me, and he says, you're crying. I didn't even know I was crying. He said, I said, I'm overcome. And he said, what are you thinking about? I said, I'm with you, Kevin, and I'm thinking about John Wayne, who told me to make a Western, and I'm with the two of you right now in here. And from that point on, I was like, this is a great life. And if I hadn't met Al Ruddy and Gray Frederickson, who kept me grounded, who kept me inspired, who made me the person I am today, I wouldn't be sitting here in this chair saying hi to all of you.